Hey, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about, giving some advice for ladies in relationships, hetero ladies in relationships. Somebody wants me to do a dating advice for gay guys. I might do a video on what I don't understand about gay politics when it comes to dating. Maybe that'll come later. But right now, this is about, dating advice for ladies, and I've written down some things here that I think are the biggest issues. For men, I think that a lot of getting to that relationship point tends to be the bigger challenge. Getting the dating, getting to that spot, getting to that place, getting into that relationship is more of the challenge, and that's where a lot of guys ask for more advice. With women, it's more like, okay, we got here, now what? Okay? And we want to know what is going to be killing the relationship. Okay? What is, or what is not making him finally get into that committed relationship space with you, or what is not making him want to take it to the next level. Okay, because that is, I think, one of the biggest things that I see happening when it comes to relationships. Okay, and there are a few things that that all ring around the same theme for straight guys. And what I've noticed that is, oh my God, all he wants is for somebody, for you to have faith in him and have faith in the relationship, show faith in the relationship. Faithfulness, I didn't talk about faithfulness, and I'll address that later, but no, faith in the relationship and faith in him as himself, as a person, okay? And I think, and that can be addressed, in a number of different ways. There are certain things that, we can blame for, men and women in terms of, what influences them into becoming where they are, what they do, however that goes. But I've also noticed that men have an easier time coming into a relationship and giving that woman a clean slate than women do, which brings me to my first point, okay? Um, and that has a lot to do with, ladies, you can't let your exes make it hard for this new guy to get close to you, or make it hard for him to bring what he has to the table in a relationship. Everybody is unique. Sure, he might like the same TV shows your ex did, or even the same music, might even wear the same cologne. But he's totally a different guy. Totally different. He's his own person, and he has to be given credit and faith for that. Okay? That means if you're trying to find a substitute for your ex and you went for him because of all those qualities, you're in for disappointment, and you're cheating the both of you because he's still a different person. And if you're trying to shoot, and if you're shooting him down because he's making, he's triggering some flashbacks of a bad relationship you had with somebody else, you're still cheating the both of you because he's a different person. Okay? And I think that that is a big issue because he's getting a lot of things that are not his responsibility. And believe me, it's not his responsibility. His responsibility, if he chooses to be in a relationship with you, and he falls for you, and he likes you, and he cares about you, is to be a good partner for you, be a companion for you, love and support and cherish you, not be anything else. Okay? Another issue I see is that, when it comes to actually getting, to that point again of trying to get the relationship into a better place, take things more seriously, a lot of ladies, it's great to be empowered and assertive, but sometimes when you dredge up a lot of things that, it makes it sound like loving you is some kind of job. And it's a scary thing to do because it can really hurt your chances of, again making this person feel like he is going to be happy in a relationship with you. Okay? You want to be special. You want to be the treasured one. You want to be the sanctuary, the salvation, the support system, the trusted companion, the best friend. That's fine. But you can't make it sound like that in and of itself is another work week. Okay? Having a clear intent is great for what you want, but coming into the romance game with a set of rigid demands and expectations that you've manicured over years and years is only going to set you up for either failure or disappointment. Him too. Okay? Take heart, though. For every negative expectation you have, you're also blind to a positive surprise. Loving each other does equal taking care of each other. But taking care of each other doesn't always mean loving each other. If you turn him into your caretaker, you might find yourself in a really tight spot, and one or both of you is already going to think about getting away. Remember, it's all about having faith in him and having faith in the relationship. If you take all your confidence in the direction of the relationship away and put all the pressure on him to make it better, and somehow get yourself to feel guilt-free, you're going to have a problem. Reassurance is great. Ask for it. But don't chicken out or think you're compromising too much by taking the initiative to make positive changes in the relationship yourself. Okay? If you want it, you want more communication, initiate more communication. What's the harm in that? Just remember the difference between being aggressive and being hostile. And don't even think about being, hostile. Try assertive. Assertive is a little bit more confident. That doesn't sound as desperate. Don't let a guy slip through the cracks just because you were waiting on him to do whatever it is you never told him to do. Remember, he's going to be himself. Don't encourage him to resent you by making spending time with you sound less fun because it's all about you. Now we have to take a good hard look at this, girls. Sometimes we can't admit when we want somebody to do something just for us. And so when we can't admit that, or have that experience, which he would be happy to do every once in a while, we try and take, sneak, or manipulate that circumstance into almost happening all the time. And that he will pick up on. And you will notice his mood change. You will notice him become distant. Men are not afraid to, again, take the initiative for themselves and just take what they want for when they want it. And that's not a selfish thing. It's that thing that says, hey, you know what? I want space. I'm going to take some space. Okay? I'm sorry to do this, but, it's important to, to realize, okay, I'll use an example. My best friend's straight, and he's been having, troubles with this girl. And she thinks that he's not interested in her. And I can tell it's just, she just doesn't have faith in the relationship or where it's going. I think the fact that they communicate pretty regularly, I honestly think that they communicate regularly, they're fine, they're honestly fine. But, I also know that he's working a 49-hour work week as a construction worker, and that he's having some issues with his brother. And we've had a flu going around. And so the one day off he had from work this week, he wanted to be alone. He didn't go out with me and the guys to go out to happy hour. He didn't do any of those things. But when he didn't want to hang out with her, because that night she was just feeling a little insecure, the shit hit the fan. He's going to be himself. He's not afraid to take that for himself. Go ahead and do the same thing. It's going to make you look good. Agree to disagree. Alright? Let him be himself. And you just be yourself. Relationships aren't meant to be rites of passage or means of elevation and change. It's about love. The second you turn into a different person because you're in a relationship, or he is supposed to turn into a different person because he's in a relationship, you've effed yourselves. And not in a good way. Alright? If you don't know what you want, and neither does he, it's okay. Let it be. Enjoy the ride. Again, remember, positive surprises can happen, especially when he knows there's faith in the relationship. If you can't get him to change his mind about something, don't worry, you're not a failure, and he's not an insensitive, misogynistic asshole. He's just being himself. You have to agree to disagree in relationships sometimes, okay? And you've got to make yourself again have a little bit more faith. And remember, he's totally different because he's a totally unique person. Space. Somehow sharing space turned into claiming space. I don't know when that happened. I don't know who decided that was an act of empowerment, but it's wrong. Okay? The second, somebody decides that nobody can do anything without presence, permission, or, even, letting somebody know, checking in like you're their parent, you're going to be in a paranoid area. Always. You know, a healthy relationship consists of two people who have their own lives and come together and enjoy that time together. It's not about becoming this amorphous two-headed monster. Alright? It will make him appreciate you more and think you're a cool girlfriend who also has her own life. You know, another issue that I do see happening, you know, is that with women, there has this tendency to become, there's no happy middle ground sometimes. At least a lot of my girlfriends, you know, who are probably watching, we tend to, there's this vacillation between two extremes. Alright, there's the completely passive, no active, you know, activity whatsoever. I'm gonna sit here, let this guy do all the work, let this guy take all the initiative. Oh, he's not taking any initiative, well, I guess I should leave. And then there's, I'm in control, I'm being assertive, all of a sudden I've turned into controlling bossy chick, you know. And you gotta realize sometimes that it's going to annoy him, you know, and it's gonna push him away. And there is, you know, it's not necessarily, you know, about who takes the leadership role in the relationship. If you want to be in a relationship of equals, you have to realize that you're not going to be in charge when you're an equal. Okay, and that's something that's going to be pretty tough. You know, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but you know, there is also the issue of the constant accusations of cheating. And I think that I already addressed that in the making your past his responsibility. I'm sorry, this is going to sound cold and heartless, but you know me, I tend to be a bit of a drill sergeant when it comes to this advice stuff. He is not your ex. None of them. Straight men are not in some crazy alliance with each other, and they all don't do the same things. His job is not to make your ex pay, make your ex leave your brain, because only you can do that. I think that honestly, and I don't, you know, this might offend, you know, everybody. Straight guys, straight girls, gay girls, doesn't matter. When all of a sudden people have to, you know, spy on each other's phones, check each other's emails, I am doing the relationship countdown. That relationship is a ticking bomb. I'm sorry. Either the relationship will die, but they'll stay together, and all of a sudden, you know, they're both sneaking out. You know, or they're just treating each other again like there's no faith in the relationship. Who wants to stay in a relationship like that? I don't want to be in a relationship with a guy and have to actually check his phone, and fuck him if he thinks he's going to be able to look at my phone. I don't want that. I want faith in my relationship. Faith in the relationship is what's going to make things work. You know? The other thing that I also see as a big issue is that too many women offer too many sacrifices and expect him to make sacrifices. He never asked you to make those sacrifices. When you start giving up things that you love to make time for a relationship that, by the way, he might not have actually scheduled to have time for you that week, that day, whatever. I gave up this for you, I spent all this money here, you should. Don't should on him. Yeah, it sounds like another word. Because it is. Stop making testaments of love be all about everybody giving up something they care about. That's not love. That's a really, really expensive transaction. You have to be able to have faith in him. You know, and honestly, I am going to do a video in defense of the straight guys, because I think, honestly, you know, I know a lot of my viewers, I know I have a few straight viewers, but most of my viewers are women and gay guys. You know, we've got to give them some more love and credit, you know, and they will be there when they know it's important. But also, a straight guy, and I don't know how you feel, but personally, I don't want somebody treating me like I'm a kid who needs to be saved all the time. And when it really mattered, when it was something that I really couldn't handle, and the ones who had my back were the straight guys. You know, they got me through a lot, you know. This whole last winter, okay, it was my straight friends who got me through that. And I am very grateful for that. You know, they're the ones who really took care of me. And I think that these guys, honestly, there are a lot of decent guys out there. And if you think you know men because you've been in a few bad relationships, you're doing yourself a disservice, ladies. He needs to also be your friend. And I think that it might be a big issue because we have too many expectations for what a relationship should be or is supposed to look like because we're writing a story. So is he writing the story with you, or is he a character? Gotta give up that. He's gonna write it with you, or he's not gonna be there at all. Okay? So, there's my advice. Just some things that I see as continuing issues. What can go wrong in relationships? Like I said, a lot of men tend to have more, issues when it comes to actually getting there. And a lot of the questions I get from women are, what happens when we get there? How do I make this go to the next level? How do I get them to take this seriously? So here's what I thought. So I want to know what you think. Please let me know, and we can have a discussion about this, okay? I'll talk to you later.